Going to be a very interesting weekend, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see by the chart here on the right hand side of the screen, we are currently experiencing a fire sale in the crypto market, particularly driven by macro forces and Bitcoin trying to sustain this $100,000 price level. Me personally, guys, I think this market has been on an upwards trajectory since January of 2023. You can see I have it highlighted here. This is a monthly chart for the price of Bitcoin. It's going back the last 2 years. This is all of the price action that I believe we have experienced since then, leading into the election of 2024, leading into the inauguration, and then everything else that has come after that. I also believe we had a halving in this as well. So, with all of those catalysts now officially played out, what else does the market have to be excited about? The excitement is what would continue to push the market. The excitement is what attracts liquidity in, it's attracting traders, and it also attracts retail. But because of macroeconomic forces like this one, retail is for sure afraid, and now institutions are starting to share those same fears. I saw a chart posted on X this morning showing the price performance of banks. Everybody's down 10%. Okay. So with all of those things in place, ladies and gentlemen, I truly think this is now profit taking territory. And to re-emphasize that even further, let me pull up the Elite 8 portfolio from 2024 that we began tracking in October of 2023. The reason I want to pull this up is because if you have been watching your portfolio over the last couple of years and your numbers look anything like this is common sense here, ladies and gentlemen. This is not financial advice. This is just simple math. We got into Solana at $22 in 2023. We've profited right now $7,500, but it got as high as 10K. Obviously, you want to take profits in this situation. Solana's at 179. And if we are about to go back into a bear market, expect to see Solana get closer to 125. We don't want it to be anywhere near that price point. So you best get out of the way now, in my humble opinion. And the same principle applies to some of these other assets. Like Stellar actually cracked into the profit territory a lot later in this 2-year cycle. But even still, we're up about $2,300 on our Stellar investment when we got in at 10 cents. So if you're looking at your portfolio and you're seeing margins like this, ladies and gentlemen, then it's definitely that time. It is definitely that time. Okay? Because we're also starting to see, when we look at the performance chart here, both BTC and our portfolios are starting to go down. And then we take a look at the history. Where are we at right now? 28K. We get down to the 20s, man. That's only happened, what's that, once, August of last year. Then April of this year. June of this year. April and June's last time we were in the 20s range. Now, when I was looking at the chart here in April, I just found this to be weird. This wick goes all the way back down to $73,000 Bitcoin. What's the chances that it tries to go back down to that point just to, satisfy that wick? I could be completely wrong here. All right? I will admit that off top. And if there is someone in the comments that has a much better interpretation that can let us know, please, by all means. But what I'm looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not looking good. Okay? It's just not looking good. And it's primarily due to the macroeconomic factors. Now, I actually have a clip here of our president's recent comments from this morning on, Sunday morning, it looks like, from Fox Business, talking about his deal with China. They're actually going to meet up in exactly 2 weeks, October 30th. That's the plan. And he also said that the tariffs weren't sustainable. Like, let's just listen to this. It's only about 20 seconds.
Place already at 157% tariff on China. Can that stand?
No,
what is that going to do to the economy?
It's not sustainable, but that's what the number is. it's probably not, it could stand, but they forced me to do that. I think we're going to do fine with China. I get along great with him. He's a very strong leader.
He just had to do it. Okay. I get that. I get that. Listen, guys, I was never really one to get into politics, but something about this one. Maybe it's being in this position that I'm in, covering financial markets and geopolitical events, things like that. But this is just wild, folks. Okay, so President Trump stated that 100% tariffs on China will now stand just a week after announcing them. This comes as the crypto market crashes, partly due to the trade tensions between the two countries. The president said no when asking during a Fox Business interview whether the China tariffs would stand. He also remarked that they will be fine with China, a move that eases trade tensions between the two countries. To be honest with you, Donald, the market doesn't believe you. That's what we're seeing right now. I think the majority of investors in the market recognize that China is not a joke. Okay? And to see our president playing with him like a yo-yo, like as if y'all know how these things go, ladies and gentlemen. But I feel like the reaction in the market is a lack of trust here. We need something concrete. Now, Trump confirmed that he will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2 weeks after earlier indicating that he was no longer interested in the meeting. That I didn't know. The U.S. president further admitted that his 100% tariffs on China are not sustainable, although he added that they have to reach a fair deal. All of this activity, guys, of course, has pushed the markets down. Bitcoin got as low as 103,000 in some places. I woke up this morning and saw it at 105. I personally jumped for joy because I want cheaper asset prices. I believe I made this clear a couple months ago. I got so excited at the fact that the market may have been going back down because I finally figured the game out. Ladies and gentlemen. You just play the margins. We looked at it on our Elite 8 portfolio here. Okay? Buy low, sell high. Solana got as high as $222, if I'm not mistaken, ladies and gentlemen. That would have been perfect. That would have been a perfect pool. Okay? Perfect profits right there. We got into BTC at 27,000. We're sitting at 100K. It had got as high as 127, if I'm not mistaken. All-time high? Yeah, around 126, 127. To that point, look at the profit there compared to some of the other altcoins. And keep in mind, when market conditions were a lot better, the alts were much higher. But getting in at 27K 2 years ago, I think the max profit for our Bitcoin was around 5,000 to 6,000 when the total portfolio value was up here in the 40s and in the high 30s. We were looking at a $5,000 to $6,000 profit on Bitcoin getting in at 27,000. So those numbers are just very, very interesting to me. They're very interesting. So my stance is this, guys. I'd be taking profits. I think the market is overextended. All of this activity cannot continue to last. I know a lot of people are saying that this is going to extend into 2026 and maybe sometime in Q1 the markets will fully correct. That's likely. I think it'll be the opposite. I would say the correction will begin maybe in this month. It looks like this month, maybe next month. But then we'll chop sideways till about maybe February, and then things may look to recover. But of course, all of that is up in the air, depending on what our administration is doing and macroeconomic factors. So it's a tough call. And I'll just leave you with this too, guys. Everyone was expecting October to be Uptober. Well, I wonder if any of you asked the question, what happened the last time October wasn't green? Well, we have to go back to 2018 to find the answer to that, guys. Honestly, where there was a big big crash. Okay. Let's see. We're here January 2018. Market began to pull back. October 2018. This is the Bitcoin Cash fork, the Bitcoin Wars, as they called it. This division in the Bitcoin community shook the market so much that you see we have a red October here, but it was November that all of the pain was really felt. So I'm hoping that that is not what we're about to experience, guys. I have gotten used to the holiday rallies. They are very cool. But outside of that, guys, there are positive developments still going on. Okay. Japanese mega banks prepare to launch yen-backed crypto for global payments. Let's see what we got here. The project, which will rely on blockchain infrastructure built by Progmat, aims to cut through the high costs and delays that plague traditional international payments. Instead of relying on multiple intermediaries and currency conversions, businesses will soon be able to transact with a stablecoin that settles almost instantly, directly within Japan's regulated banking system. Insiders say the first phase will focus on corporate settlements, with Mitsubishi set to test the coin for international transactions. And once established, the network could rapidly expand across Japan's corporate landscape, linking over 300,000 business partners that already work with participating banks. So that Progmat blockchain platform that they're mentioning is being developed by MUFG, which is a major financial institution out in Japan. I wouldn't look at this, though, as a negative, because wherever these stable coins get picked up, even if they are from an independent player, they will at some point need a public blockchain rail to reach a set of customers that they can't reach themselves. I believe that's just where we are. And until Tether's wallet SDK goes mainstream, really gets popular, they will also need public blockchain networks that can develop wallets for them. So I think that is big news, guys. Along with this here, Ripple Labs is leading a $1 billion fundraise via SPAC to accumulate XRP for a new digital asset treasury, guys. Now, I'm sharing this with you because there's been a lot of discussion recently about just how much Ripple is backing XRP. Well, through Ripple Labs, they're putting $1 billion on the table. They're putting $1 billion on the table. And I think I respect the move even more with the market potentially taking a downturn. So, big move coming out of Ripple. And this is also coming after Ripple's $1 billion purchase creates ROUSD pathways into Fortune 500 treasuries. I believe this is the acquisition of G Treasury, which marks a new step in its corporate expansion and direct challenge to stablecoin distribution. With Ripple ROUSD, it has shown an impressive 987% growth rate since December of 2024, reaching a total supply of 839.9. You could have just wrote 834. $834 million. Still captures only 0.27% of the 309 billion stablecoin market cap. G Treasury could change that entirely. So, a lot of excitement for G Treasury. It's honestly a company I haven't truly heard of, and I also haven't taken time to dig into. But if Ripple's willing to put $1 billion into this move, hey, they obviously see something. And then this was the story that kind of shocked me, ladies and gentlemen. We got some activity in Europe in relation to the XDC network. 21 Shares launches XDC network exchange traded product on Euro next. And we have a little clip here. I'll mute it because they're going to be banging that gong. But, you know, this is something that we see over here on the stock exchange. Companies ringing the bell. There's a bell over here, but I see in Europe you guys have a gong. That's pretty cool. But what we have here is XDC's founder, Atul Kakade, alongside, it looks like, Alistair Perry, head of EU investments, capital markets at 21 Shares. And they're ringing the bell, announcing their new exchange-traded product for the XDC network. So 21 Shares now needs a deep dive because if I'm not mistaken, 21 Shares, they've done the Hedera exchange traded product, Stellar, Solana, don't quote me on this, Algorand, but they have a lot of them. So now I want to dig into them, kind of see who's behind them, see what they're going to be, what else they could potentially bring to the market. Let's read this a little bit here. The network offers investors a liquid way to add XDC exposure to their portfolios, allowing them to benefit from XDC's role in blockchain-powered commerce, ladies and gentlemen. So these exchange-traded products, even if they may not provide direct exposure to the asset, they're great for awareness. They're great for adoption. It gets people asking the question, well, what is that? what is that? So with that, guys, that's all I got for this one. I do want to let you know, if you start seeing a lot more Immutable X content coming from me, well, I joined their Immutable Audience Creator Program. This is simply going to just, support your boy when I make gaming content, because gaming content isn't as popular as some of the other mediums. So I'm attempting to link up with the best in the game. Y'all know how I feel about Immutable X, and see if we can change that. So if you see more gaming content coming from Immutable, I have officially been accepted into their program, and if you are another creator interested in blockchain gaming, want to get involved, because they're also looking for new creators as well. So this may be an opportunity for you to link up with a big name and get, additional resources to help your channel grow. That's just going to be big. Now, with the market moving the way that it's moving, ladies and gentlemen, it is paramount that you have fundamental knowledge of what you are investing, or at this point, maybe planning to invest in. This is the digital library that I have put together. I will be crafting another digital document that will focus on investing characteristics for each particular sector. I feel like people need to know that you can't invest or research the same way you do with Quant or Stellar or Ripple that you do with Immutable, SWI, or Solana. They're focused on different things, different fields. I want to put together a document to help people understand that. So with that, guys, that's all I got for this one. Good news, though, before we get out of here, heading back up to the studio, to the office. We fixed our little water problem in the basement. So this weekend I will be, I thought I had my drill next to me, but I'm going to be hammering nail down there, man, and getting it done. So next week we will be live from DHN HQ. So I want to thank you all again. Thanks those who donated to make that even possible. Thanks to everyone that continues to rock with the kid after all of these years. All the members of the committee. I don't know what time it is. If that money is digital, so is the hustle.